Stan Gibilisco here from the Black Holes of Dakota Territory, United States of Analysis, with a little bit of an explanation and some demonstrations of dirty electricity. Now, the electricity that comes out of your wall outlet is 60 hertz, 120 volts RMSAC here in the United States. In many other countries, it is 50 hertz at either roughly 110 or 120, or more likely 220 to 240 volts RMSAC. But what I'd like to do is show you a picture, three pictures actually, starting with figure 1-10 in my upcoming book, Electronics Workshop Companion for Hobbyists. You can expect that out later this year. Look for it. It'll be a great one. There's a program called Digipan, D-I-G-I-P-A-N, and you can download it and use it as an audio spectrum analyzer that goes from roughly DC to about 5,500 hertz in the audio spectrum, and by installing it in your computer and then plugging an antenna of sorts into the microphone jack of your computer, you can monitor the electromagnetic fields, EM energy, set up by the alternating current that goes through the wiring in your house. Some people claim to be able to feel the effects of those electromagnetic fields. Fortunately, I'm not one of those people. I've got enough other neuroses as it is. But what happens when you turn on the Digipan display? Well, it's a very low footprint program, and it works, as far as I know, all the way up through Windows 8 to some extent. And you just play around with it. C-O-E-I-S. Click on everything in sight until you learn how to use the program. That's my recommendation. But here is an example of a Digipan display with a 1050 hertz wave and a second harmonic at no, this is just another signal, 2260 hertz. The x-axis going horizontally displays frequency, and the y-axis going vertically displays time. As the time passes, the instant moves down the screen very slowly. You just have to watch it to understand what I'm talking about. Plug a wire into your microphone jack and have at it. Play around. That's what electronics hobbyism is all about, is learning things for oneself. Is that not correct? Don't tell me if it's not. But what I'd like to show you now is an example of the same program. You can, I don't know if you can zoom in on this particular program or not. I know you can on another program known as Hamscope, but that will not show the harmonics the way this one will. Here is a 60 hertz pure AC wave as it would appear on the Digipan display. Notice 60 hertz right there, and as time passes, this line moves down the screen. If you have harmonics, that is multiples of the 60 hertz fundamental, you will get 60, 120, 180, 240, etc., etc., etc. Well, that's not the way that electricity actually is generated and comes out of the wiring in your house. It's a lot messier than that, and there are a whole lot of appliances that you use in your everyday life that contribute to this, what they call dirty electricity. And here's an actual Digipan display, a photograph I took. Digipan, W1GV are my ham radio call letters, Whiskey 1, good vibrations. And look at that. Here is the 60 hertz fundamental is actually rather weak in this. Well, that's 120 hertz. It doesn't seem to show the 60 hertz at all. But there's 180, 240, 300, 360, 420, 480, and so on and so on and so on. And look how many harmonics there are. And in addition to that, there are other frequencies that are not harmonically related to the 60 hertz. And these different colors, you can kind of ignore those color bands. They're just artifacts of the program. This is actually a program intended for ham radio mode called PSK 31, Phase Shift Keying 31. I'm not sure what the 31 stands for, but that's approximately the speed in words per minute that you transmit in this digital mode. Do a little research on that and then get into ham radio. You can buy my book, Ham and Shortwave Radio for the Electronics Hobbyist. It's available right now on Amazon, or of course you can go to a pirate website and steal it, thereby putting me out of business, and you won't have to endure any more of my yammerings or scribblings. But look at how messy that is. Now, if you turn on an appliance, say like a vacuum cleaner or some other appliance, it will add to the complexity of this pattern, and to the point where it becomes just incredibly complicated, and that's where the term dirty comes from. What comes out of your wall outlet is not pure AC at a single frequency, but rather maybe 99 and 44/100ths of that energy is the 60 hertz AC, but the rest, that other, what is it, about 56/100ths of a percent, is this crap, and that can cause all sorts of havoc on all sorts of radio equipment, including ham radio equipment, to the dismay of almost every urban amateur radio operator in the world. You go out into the country and run your radio off batteries and don't even put a computer near it, maybe you won't hear any of this crap. But it's there, and there really isn't a doggone thing that you can do about it other than watch videos like this so you know all about it, and it's actually rather interesting. That little green flag right there indicates the frequency to which this program is set to transmit signals. So there you go, from the black holes of Dakota Territory, United States of Analysis, Stan Gibilisco, signing off. Until next time, so long.